Greetings. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video while I would much rather be speaking to you in person. We think that sharing this information through a video at this time is probably the best way to get it across. So thank you so much for taking the time. For those who don't know me, I am Dina Jardy. I'm the Executive Director of Paddle Antrim. Paddle Antrim is a local nonprofit, and our mission is to protect our water resources by connecting people to them through paddle sports. We truly feel that when people are out in nature, they understand the importance of nature and are willing to make changes to protect those water resources. And so one of the programs and projects that we have been working on is the Chain of Lakes Water Trail. Beginning in 2014, an initial inventory of all the access sites on the chain of lakes was completed. Since then, we have been working diligently with local governments, nonprofits, businesses, and other organizations throughout the chain of lakes to develop a water trail for paddlers to use. We now have 99 miles of water trail that go through 16 different lakes and rivers in 4 different counties. We're grateful to the 17 jurisdictions, both governmental and nonprofits, who have identified and approved 81 different access sites to be included on the water trail. Our goal is to provide information on the water trail so people can make decisions on where to paddle, where is the next bathroom, how far is it to A to B, but also it is to provide the other important information as well. So as you'll see in all of our water trail information, you will see information on stewardship as well as safety messages to share with paddlers when they're out on the water. We've been working on this project and we are thankful for a successful fundraising capital campaign last year. And so this year, in the coming month, you will see signs being installed at all 81 access sites along the Chain of Lakes Water Trail. And you will see the development of other materials like a waterproof paddler guide being developed. We're grateful to all of our funders who helped make that happen, and grateful to our partners with the Village of Elk Rapids and the DDA who supported that project as well. So today though, our focus is on the development of Rotary Park. So Rotary Park really is a key asset to the water trail. Elk Rapids is the end of the trail, and so while people may end their adventures here, they may also begin them and can travel in and out of the area as well. And so it's a really important access site for us. So in 2017, the village actually completed a recreational survey, and in there were improvements for Rotary Park. Some of the improvements included the development of a universal kayak launch, installation of bathrooms, and installation of water at that park. Since that time, water has been installed at the Pavilion. In 2018, the Village of Elk Rapids supported our submission of a grant to the Coastal Zone Management to design and figure out a plan for how to use the different water access sites in the Village of Elk Rapids, as there's multiple both on the bay and on the chain of lakes. We unfortunately were not successful in getting that grant, but we were able to secure some funding, and so we worked with those funders to dedicate that funding to the design of Rotary Park, which is where we're at today. So we're grateful to the Elk Skagamog Lake Association, Grand Traverse Regional Community Foundation, Elk Rapids Rotary Club, and individual Rotarians, and the Village of Elk Rapids for helping make this project happen. There is significant in-kind support provided as well from Disability Networks of Northern Michigan to help us incorporate the universal designs, as well as Gordy Frazier, the consulting firm who is helping support this, who is helping do the design. So with the input from the rec survey, from Disability Networks, the village, and ourselves, we sat down with the design team to come up with an initial design concept for Rotary Park. And so that's what we are looking for your feedback on today. We know we're looking that people have some great feedback on what they like, what they don't like, other things to consider, and we want to hear all of it. So before I'm going to walk through the details in a minute, but before I do, I just wanted to talk about the process first. So on July 9th, we'll be hosting an open house from 6 to 8 at Rotary Park. The schematic drawing will be available, and Paddle Antrim staff, the design team of Gordy Frazier, as well as village staff, will be there to answer your questions as well as to help solicit feedback from you. With these times, we do ask that everyone follow the COVID-19 guidelines and social distancing as well when we are at the park. We appreciate that. All the information, though, that you will find there will also be on our website, which is paddleantrim.com/Rotary-Park, where you can find this video, the schematic can be downloaded from, and other information as well. So feel free to check out the information there as well as a comment form. We will have the schematic available at Village Hall from July 10th to July 24th for you to come in at your leisure to take a look at. And I am happy to answer any questions about process or about the project and the design as well. And so you can reach me at 231-492-0171 or info@paddleantrim.com. All that information is on our website as well. We are looking for written comments to be provided to us by July 24th at 5 p.m. so we can take those comments and share them with the village and help them, and so they can make the next decision on the design. We ask that you use the comment form on our website to submit comments, but if that doesn't work for you, you can also submit them by email to us or mail them to our P.O. Box in Elk Rapids 323. All right, but we do look forward to your feedback and are happy to answer any questions that you have. Now, I do want to take just a moment to talk about the design with you and walk through that a little bit. So first, as I mentioned, the intent of this design was to design something that was universally accessible. The kayak launch and the amenities and accessibility to them was really important to us. And so that proceeded for us to think about where the best placement would be of the launch. And so as you can see on the design in front of you, that we have chosen to put the kayak launch next to the existing pavilion. And so that was chosen for a couple of reasons. Number one, that is where the amenities are. So if we really want things to be universal, we want things to be close to people to get to. So there's an existing pavilion there, existing picnic tables, there's existing water there, and there is an existing porta-john at this moment. And so that is where the amenities already exist, and so it made sense to put the launch there. We did consider putting it at the existing kayak launch at the northern end of the property. And so during those discussions, what came up was that if we did place it there, it would also take away the concrete launch. It would take up the spot of the concrete launch, and so small boats would no longer be able to be launched from there. It would really only be a kayak launch. And so based on that input and feedback from Parks and Rec Committee and others, and the Disability Network, we decided the initial design was to be put next to the pavilion. In addition, one of the other comments that got brought up was if we do place it by the pavilion, we want to make sure that we're not taking away the existing parking of the pavilion users for paddlers. So in the design, you will see that there is parking in there for the paddlers as well. And I'll be honest, I have been in Elk Rapids all summer long so far, and I drive past Rotary Park every time I come to the office, and I regularly see 4 to 6 cars. So I think that that is a solid number of how many users we already have today that would use that. And so in addition to the parking, you will also see that there is, all right, and so you will also see here on the green, this is a trailer parking that is being proposed, and the proposed is to use a Geogrid parking as Geogrid, which is reinforced grass as the surface for the trailer parking. Moving on to the Paddlers Pavilion, you will see that people will be able to drop their kayaks off, pull over, be able to drop their kayaks off. Here is the launch, and there are 2 kayak racks that are available. The reason we put in 2 was discussions earlier had with the village was one that would be used by temporary paddlers who are just coming in for the day and want to go grab some food, And then the other one may be potentially for locals who want to store their boats down near the water. So that isn't a decision that we would make. That's totally a village decision in the future, but we did want to just acknowledge that there's a possibility to put more than one kayak rack down there. There is room. Here is the Kayak Launch. One thing that I did fail to mention earlier that I had meant to was obviously by placing the launch next to the pavilion, there are stumps in that area, and for the safety of paddlers, we will have to create a kayak route to the channel. And so we have had discussions with Eagle. That is something that is allowed, and it would just need to follow certain procedures and permitting to make that happen. Other things you will see, there is a bike rack, and down here is the proposed restroom. So lastly, on the design, you will see there is an example of the proposed picnic table. There are two examples of launches that we are looking at. One is the Easy Launch, and the other one is Board Safe. I encourage you, if you're interested, to take a look at both their websites, and they're both great launches. They just have really different features, and we need to decide what the best features are and use for us in Elk Rapids is. And then next you will see an example of what a kayak rack looks like with storage, as well as Geogrid grass reinforcement looks like as well. As a paddler, having storage with the rack is really important, because not only do I want my boat to be secure, but also I want to be able to leave my paddle and my life jacket and feel great that they are safe and will be there when I get back. So that's kind of the process. If you have any other questions, you can contact me at any times. As I mentioned, we really are looking forward to your feedback, your thoughts about what's great, what we need to improve, what other things do we need to think about. And I really look forward to hearing from you. And then what the process then would be, we will take these comments and synthesize them. And then really the decision goes back to the village. So we will bring this information next to the Village Parks and Rec Committee and have them kind of go over the comments and help really guide what the final design looks like. While we're helping facilitate this process, the ultimate decision is the village's, and we want them to be on board and make the final decision on what this park looks like.